Hello RVers, this is RV52. Thought I'd just show you a quick little project that I did recently. We purchased the tiny Texas tumbleweed recently, and when we got it, we received this really terrible shower you can see in the before picture, and it just couldn't stand. We went on it. We took the tiny Texas tumbleweed out for a single trip, and it just didn't go well. We're going to get to the one in the lower right. So, just a few notes. They literally just put standard RV wall siding or whatever you want to call it and stuck a tub basin in there. And so when you shower, maybe it's waterproof, maybe it's not, I don't know. But when you shower, it just goes right on the wall. And then you can see they did this terrible, terrible flashing around it, and the flashing really didn't caulk. I could have caulked it, but it was, we never felt comfortable showering in that. We did it, Sherry did it once, and we were done. And then the day we did it, the day we took the tiny tumbleweed out, it was on a slight, I didn't quite get it perfectly level. I'm talking like maybe an inch out of level, barely out of level. And the water, if you see the blue arrow in the lower right hand corner, the it completely came over the edge. There was nothing to stop, so it went on the walls, came down, and went over the edge right on the floor. Sherry was not pleased. And then just to highlight gaps like that, so what would happen then is the water came over the edge, and what didn't get on the floor right there would sneak into that black gap that is pointing to here and go right into the wall, and then it would go under the wall. I was so uncomfortable with that. I just felt like it would just rot and destroy the RV. So we got online, we looked around, we found these things called RV shower surround. You can QR code the big QR code right in the middle here, and they're flimsy. I in one hand you think, oh man, terrible quality, but remember, these are supposed to be glued to the wall. They get their solidity from the wall. They need to be light and thin. It's like putting a plasticized shell on your wall. Here's just another view of it. Has a built-in soap dish, which we didn't have. Not a big deal, but that'll be kind of nice. Well, so far, to quote Julius Caesar, didn't get across the Rubicon yet, but eventually you got to start, and then that's the point of no return. So we tore off the flashing. You can see a tiny, 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 tiny bit of glue or caulk. It was more like caulk. It wasn't glue, but it wasn't going to stop anything, and it was behind the flashing, not on top. So the water was going to get down there anyway. So we took the flashing off. Um, I took uh, I took the faucet off. Now the plate it's pointing to, you should take that off first, and then you can get behind and remove the water connections, and then the faucet will come right off. I didn't do that. I'd never really looked at an RV shower before, but I took off the faucet and the handles. You don't need to do any of that. Just this plate is meant to be your access panel for all RVs. Simple Simon. I won't make that same mistake twice. But you get it off there. It looks like that. You can see the water hoses in the middle, and you can see where the plate went. You'll want to just kind of sand that down, get it clean, make sure it's nice and smooth. That's your hot and cold water being shown. Now, you have to measure where that cutout is in the wall. Then you have to go to the back of the shower surround and measure that uh, cutout. And I would recommend measuring that two, three, four, 5 times. Double check, triple check, whatever it takes to get that right. Because once you cut it, it's cut, and you're going to destroy a shower surround, and those are about 200 bucks. After I got it cut, after I did triple check the measurements, I put it in there, and of course it fit the shower surround nicely. You can see how it lines up really well. I was very pleased. And then you can see how the shower fits in there, so that's real nice. So next thing I did is I clean out the basin of the shower, and I got everything ready to go. The picture you see the shower surround here is a little bit later in the project, but I'm pointing out the glue here. The shower surround's made of ABS. Gorilla says it won't work with polyethylene glues. I don't think, or polypropylene. Um, I think that will be just fine for the shower surround. So this is the glue we used, and it really did stick it good. So I'm very hopeful. You can get it from the link I got here. Um, Next thing, we just apply glue liberally to all three sides of it. I will say I wished I'd have made a sheet of plywood for the left and right sides, and maybe a couple small sheets for the back of the shower, and then use some 2x4s for bracing in the bathroom. It would have looked terrible, like a lattice work, but just something to press those in a little bit better. Sherry and I, we did a lot of pressing and rolling and everything we could just to get that smashed into the glue. The Gorilla Glue grabs really, really fast, so we didn't have to be stressed out for too long, but after we're done, it seemed like it was pressed in really well. Now, you can see along the blue tape, it's kind of a white line, but if you really looked up close, that's a ridge. And if you go back, it's like the all around, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it. It kind of keeps the water inside, but there's no way you're going to get glue underneath there and get it in any way, shape, or form to hold. And so that's going to really not you're not going to be able to hold that in. We'll end up putting screws in that. But I went ahead and I did the painter's tape around just to hold those edges down. And then I went back, and you could do this any phase in the project. Do earlier is better. I found these screws, which were self-tapping. They're not too long, 3/4 inch, and they got a really nice big head. And you can use the QR code to see them on Amazon. And then I found the paint, just a can of spray paint from Lowe's or Home Depot. In this case, I got an Amazon QR because you're online with me. And this looks like the paint that's the right paint for making a very thin, very good kind of waterproof coating on screws. A little nice thing. I spray paint so much stuff, and I don't have a spray gun. I purchased this little nice handheld thing. You can see the QR code if you want to get to it, and that goes over the top of a spray can. It makes it 100 times easier. It will make it run through paint faster, but in the long run, you do a better job painting. Your fingers don't get tired. Love it. You can find different brands. This one's from Rust-Oleum, and I knew it'd fit their can, so I like that. Not really part of the project, except I put it on the can to do the spray painting. I spray painted these screws. You'll spray paint them. Just get a nice thing over the top. And the beauty by doing this, you could match to any color you want. You could make the screws purple if you want, which would be kind of cute too. Purple dots on your shower. And then roll them a little and hit them again, and you got all your edges. Here's what it looks like up close. This is silly, but I was really pleased with that. Then around you can really see the raised edge, and you could not get glue underneath that raised edge very well. You could only come up to where it was flat against the wall. I guess you could use expanding glue, but still not great. So I took and I put the screws in just at a nice interval everywhere I thought I needed them, and then I went ahead and caulked the whole shower. Here's you can see the faucets. I'm just attaching it to the access panel there. You take those black big plastic nuts is what you call them with the washer, and you just screw them on, get it nice and solid to this raised plate, which is what I'd call your access panel. And then you're going to connect the white spigots to the hoses. Just make sure your hot's on the left and your cold is on the right. And then this is just showing you how you can get in to see it. Well, it's not the best setup. It'll work, and it's not a bad thing for the access panel. Then this is, I caulked the basin, the bottom of the basin. I caulked the edges. You can see it's really making a nice clean look now. And then the only last thing we had to do is if the RV is just slightly out of round or out of level, the water will flow out onto the floor. So I invented a lip. I just got some from quarter-inch tubing from Lowe's or Home Depot, and I wasn't going to bother with that on Amazon. It'd be too hard to find. And I put the Gorilla Glue on there, and I literally just dropped the plastic tubing right onto it and held it. And this glue grabbed so fast. I was so thrilled with the way that went into place. This is a little bit closer, and you see the glue is with the tubing set on top. It really just creates a little tiny crevices, so you'll want to fix that by caulking it really well. And this is what it looks like with the weights off. Now the water, 99% of it should stay in the shower with the shower curtain. I caulked the access panel, and then I also caulked the tubing that went across so that the Gorilla Glue won't be exposed to water all the time. I'm not great with caulking, so if you're good at that, you could see how you could have really done a much better job than me. This is a little bit closer looking at it, and then finally here's really backed out. It just looks so much cleaner. I'm pretty happy with it, and Sherry was thrilled with it. Um, I think the glue will be fine. Use the plywood. You can get these RV surrounds from Camping World and Amazon. I have links. Just do the QR code in the lower left, and you can get right to it. Plus, the link in this video will be able to get you to it. Thanks a lot.